Hi, everyone that has joined us. I'm Sandy, and I'm from Triggers, and so is Ale Masferrer. We are opening up the Barcelona chapter, and this is our first kickoff event, so we're super excited for this. And this event is going to be about brainstorming and learning how to gamify your brainstorming sessions, new ways of doing it, and how you can engage your team online. So we'll hope you're going to enjoy it. And please, if you're comfortable, keep your screen on and try to engage with the others if you want to as well. We would be happy to see your faces. And I'm going to leave it to Ale, and then, yeah, you can continue.
Thank you. Okay, so hi everyone. Will you already see probably my face twice? I'm gonna change that. Okay, good. Cool. So thank you for the intro, Sandy, and thank everyone connecting today. We're gonna have a short session on facilitating and engaging and designing brainstorming sessions online, and we're very happy to do it with Miro. Thanks a lot, Natalie, also for that opportunity and support. Natalie is connecting from LA, part of the Miro team. I don't know if you want to say any words, Natalie.
Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome to our kickoff in Barcelona. I'm very excited to kick it off. My name's Natalie. I'm actually the community coordinator here at Miro, so I kind of help put on all of our user group events, and I'll a little bit at the end of our event today. But if you're interested in joining our community, either as a user or another one of our community initiatives, I'd love to connect.
Cool, thank you. So let's start this session. By the way, I guess in any case, I guess it was clear that we were gonna do it in English, even when we're having this Barcelona chapter. But you know, Barcelona is so hip, so we all talk like we are from abroad here. But we can say also algunas palabras en español if anyone wants to. So we have a bit of an agenda for today. We're gonna do a quick check-in. Then we're gonna go into how to lead these sessions. I'm gonna give you some tips, and I'm gonna show you some exercises that we want to try out today. And then we're gonna do a quick checkout. It's gonna be very in and out. You see, it looks like a sandwich: in something and then out. So for the check-in, we want to start by asking you a question. Very simple questions. Is actually, how does your online brainstorming sessions normally look like? I don't know if you've been already with doing some brainstorming sessions online, and maybe you have some pain points already. But we're gonna do it by using, of course, a Miro board. That was obvious, right? That was gonna happen, and we're gonna do it by using this first exercise. You're gonna see here a lot of photos of different dogs in different situations, and we want you to try to refer to the dog, to the photo that looks much closer, more familiar to how your sessions, your brainstorming sessions are about. Maybe it's a bit forced, happy but forced, or is it like kind of like love and hate, or is it very much like stress looking at time? What is it? In case you don't know, you can just I'm gonna give you the link, and you just need to go on the menu here on the left and pick the sticky note and put your name next to the one that feels more related, more familiar to how your sessions look like normally. So I'm gonna give you now the link. Please let us know if you have any problem while using it. Remember, just think about how your brainstorming sessions are normally. Pick a name. I mean, pick a photo. You know, you already pick a name, I guess, or your parents did for you, and then put it next to the photo that feels more familiar when it comes to how your team or how your clients or how everyone reacts to your sessions. So I'm going to introduce a bit the team so you can come back to the Zoom meeting and to the Zoom image. So I'm Ale. I'm actually the founder and facilitator here at Triggers. And you already met Sandy. Sandy has been working with us for a couple of months now, a bit more than half a year. And she's doing the UX part and is also charge of the training sessions. We're both from a company called Triggers, and how we like to define ourselves is that we develop tools and methodologies for modern teamwork. Not tools like our friends at Miro do, like software and that kind of stuff, but more tools in kind of like exercises and things a team can do together. We're a very small team, distributed team from people in Chile, in Sweden, in Colombia, Madrid, Barcelona, a bit everywhere. We're quite a small team, but we have, I feel, a big goal that is actually to try to kill the moment when we're improvising constantly the way we work. I feel we have enough of frictions. I feel we have enough of uncertainty in our lives, and we don't need more when it comes to the way we create. A couple of years ago, actually 4.5 years ago, more or less, I decided to start my own company, actually helping others in the way they did things, and that's how Triggers started. In the beginning, I'm gonna do this really quick check in case you don't know us. We started by this tool called the ideation cards, and they actually started with physical tools. These ones, they look this cute, and they're just cards that you can use for ideation. They'll have what if questions, and they help you with any kind of workshop you have for ideation. They all designed to help you with the prompts, right, for the ideas. We had several different decks. Like this one is the planet-centered deck, so it's about sustainability, etc. But we have others on storytelling, on machine learning, and many other ones like campaign, naming, graphic, you name it, actually. Another thing that we did a couple of years ago was to launch a book on how to design creative processes. It's a very useful guide for anyone thinking on facilitating and leading sessions. This is very much like a manual. It will help you in a very easy way to design processes, lead them, and think about them in a very pragmatic and tangible way. We do other tools like some for retrospective that we call the reflection cards, and we even have a digital way to use our cards, so the ideation ones. So we created a very big library of different what if questions that you can see there for many different things, like a business model improvement, for example. So you can just start a session and share the screen with your team in Spanish or English, and then just start ideating with them. And last thing I'm gonna say about us is we also have some trainings that we do. You can ask Sandy later on if you are interested in any of them. So we have 2 programs now, one for remote facilitation, that is actually only 2 sessions, you complete it in 1 week, and the other one that we call the mentorship program, that is very much into someone going very nerdy and very advanced into facilitation, and that is actually takes a duration of 4 months. You can have more info later on the links. Yeah, we will be more than happy to have you there. We are a very small company, but we have quite big clients, and we're trying to change the way we work, one company at a time. But before running actually into the way we see the sessions and how we design them, I want to ask you one quick question, is what are your most common struggles when leading brainstorming sessions online? I want to do it again with the Miro. You will see that you have another board just next to it. And here you can just put a post-it, 1, 2, 3, whatever, whatever, doesn't matter. As long as you have some struggles there, you can just put there some of the most common struggles for you. Some of you share already by putting your mic on, but please let us know there. What is it? Why are you here in that sense? It could be about maybe people understanding what you're doing, keeping the energy, aligning, controlling the session, whatever it is. Probably there's going to be a lot of repetition on the post-its, But don't worry, because it's actually, at least for me, it makes me feel good, because then I see I'm not alone, with all these struggles. By the way, for people arriving a bit later, you can have, yes, exactly. I'm gonna send the link again. You have it there. So you have the link on the chat, and please feel free to start contributing for now. So let's see, we have a lot about the energy, right? Maintaining the energy, keeping the energy up, also getting people to understand quantity over quality. That's a big important one, right? Keeping everyone aligned on the same page. That's definitely a big one too. My mind goes blank and I think of things afterwards. Yeah, that's a classic too. You're not alone, Sally. Liliana, you say, by the way, happy to see you again, Liliana. My session tends to just become post-it writing sessions. Yeah, that's another, I will say later, but the fact that you have a post-it for people to fill in doesn't mean they're gonna be able to fill it in. You need to give them something in order to write something. And there's poor follow through on facilitation or ideas discussed. Oh yeah, that's another topic, right? You can create very initial good ideas, but then actually to develop them, it takes sometimes. Encouraging introvert, just being scared of facilitating. Oh no, don't be scared. Who is scared of facilitating? Don't worry. I'll, look at me. I'm just like completely all the time just saying bad things in English and actually don't knowing what to say next. It's totally okay. How might we change the statement? What is an idea? That's another classic. The camera's off. Yeah, no methods. Okay, cool. I don't know about you, but actually I see a lot of these struggles over and over in many different groups. So the good news is you are not alone. You're definitely not alone. We all have these struggles. We have all these pain points. And for me, just a matter of like seeing, first of all, I don't want to see it personally. So I don't think it's because you're a bad facilitator or your group is bad. There's certain things that could help you with it. It's just a matter of how you design and lead the sessions. So with that said, I'm going to tell you a bit on how we lead the sessions. You can come back to the Zoom now. The first thing is pretty basic, but I will start by saying that you need to explain what is that you're expecting from participants. That's the first thing that I will say. There's so many times that we go into a meeting and people, you don't share what you want from people. So I don't know if it happened to you, but a lot of people are lost in just like, okay, I know I had this meeting, but I don't know what it is about. So the first thing is to explaining, hey, this session is about creating some quick energetic ideas, for example, or just like spitting out the first things that come to your mind. Or we're not going to judge, we're not going to find the final idea, we're going to find initial roots, initial things that are going to help us later on. So first of all, explain what you need from the participants. Actually, in that way, they also can know what to expect to. So they are there and they're just like, okay, they want my quick brain or my fast brain or whatever. They want me to be critical. They want me to be whatever it is. In this case, I'm going to go through it because it's super simple and super basic. I guess you all know this, but we need to tell people that we need from them a positive attitude. We want them to build upon others' ideas. So they're not criticizing them. They're just building upon them. We want them to contribute. That's also super important. Well, I'll say later, these are just like what we expect. It's not, we cannot force people to do these things, but at least you say it at the beginning. It's just like, I don't know, when you start a relationship and it's like, hey, I expect from my relationship this. You cannot force that person to be that person. But if that person is not meeting your expectations, then at least you say it. And at least you made the part of that is in your control. Also, that all ideas are valid, and of course, look for solutions, not for the problems. As I said, there's no way you can control others. There's no way. There's so many facilitators out there saying, oh, you need to tell them, I don't know, to jump and then just like start moving and then, I don't know, whatever it is. I feel you cannot control others. You really can't. The only thing that you can control is your own narrative, the narrative that you're gonna be doing through the different story, or basically the session, the story that is the session. What do I mean with control your own narrative? I mean that every single exercise and every single thing that you're going to be proposing to do has to be done with the intention that you want them, like the expectation you told them to be in. So you need to, in this case, you need to design exercises that help them be proactive, be building upon each other's ideas, always looking for the solution. So once again, you cannot control them to start being negative, but you can control the exercise to only allow positive things. And it can be so fast, or it could be so in that direction, that they're not going to be able to go into this other attitude. At least that's what I try with my sessions. So, and another important thing is that you should try to reinforce good behaviors. Don't correct people. Does anyone here like to be corrected? Seriously? Like, we don't in normal, we feel like kids if that happens. We feel like, I don't know, our dad or mom is sending us back to school again. So every time someone is, for example, negative on a brainstorming session, you shouldn't be like, hey, don't be negative. It's not about that. Instead, you should reinforce the good behaviors, and you should always, first of all, you should be the example of the behaviors that you want. And second, you should try to lead them into the behaviors that you want instead of correcting them. I'm going to show some examples here and see if you can help me out with them. So how can you actually encourage a positive behavior when you hear some sentences that are actually very negative for the brainstorming? Let me check. We have another board here at Miro. I'm going to show you, look at this. I'm going to show an example of a negative sentence, and I want you to try to help me turn into something positive. So what I mean is, imagine if you're proposing a friend to go for dinner with you, and then you say, hey, let's go to, I don't know, an Asian place. And then your friend is just like, oh my gosh, no, I hate Asian places. I know I cannot eat Asian. And you are like, okay, that doesn't help me. So what do? You ask them, hey, okay, but what is the food that you like, right? And so it's that is, instead of like telling them, I don't want you to tell me what you don't like, tell me what you like. It's just kind of like helping with the good behavior. So let's see if we can do this one. For example, classic thing, we're starting brainstorming, and then someone says an idea, and then there's like, oh my God, that idea is way too expensive. What kind of question, or what kind of like, I don't know, sentence can you throw back to them, to that person that said that idea is too expensive, so they can start thinking in the way we want them to think? Perfect. How could we lower the cost of the idea? In this case, I will be even more specific. I will ask this person, okay, yeah, I understand that. Can you think any ways of actually lowering down the cost of the idea? So don't be afraid of directing to someone. The only problem is correcting them. Instead of correcting, you can create a behavior, a sentence that encourage the behavior that you want. And what do you think it is? Be careful. I will say, if you ask someone, if someone says that idea is way too expensive, and then you ask them, why do you think it is expensive? Then you will start a debate that you don't want, because you don't want to open a debate here. What you want is to encourage them to think about positively. So for me, the best thing that you could do is try to make them think of, hey, so what would you propose to actually make it less expensive? I love this one, so polite. It's interesting that you have pointed it out. How do you think we can lower the cost? Yeah, exactly. You can say it in your language, in your own style, but definitely for me that will be the best thing to say. Let's see another example. The one that is down there. Someone says like, okay, yeah, I like the idea, it's fine. They like the idea you're proposing, but the idea isn't good enough yet. It's just too basic. what can you say to someone that is actually saying that and sharing that on a session that is about proactively trying to come up with good ideas? I see you're getting the point. So I agree that idea is a great start. How can we add it how can we add more? How can we do it differently? Do you have any suggestions on how can we improve it? Perfect. Exactly. Never engage into a debate on why is it bad, on why is it basic, on why is it not good enough yet. Just flip the mindset of that person into asking a question that he or she will start thinking of something that contributes to the session. For me, that's absolutely perfect. Cool. And the last one, let's see, maybe you heard this one before. So someone, while they're brainstorming, says, hey, I like idea number 2 already. Why don't we just go for it? You know, that's a classic thing too, right? You're in a session and then someone is just like, no, but come on, we already did 2 ideas. Number 2, I love it. Why don't we just go for it? What can you say to this person actually? You could start asking, as I think Jesus is saying, any way that number 1 can add to value to number 2. Okay, that's good. You can mention that. For me, you can also mention, yeah, perfect. You can say about time limits. You can say, it's great that we have already an idea that we like. We need to keep exploring for 30 more minutes, or we want to keep exploring for 30 more minutes to see if we can find something new. Or it could say that, yeah, maybe take the things that you like from number 2 and keep evolving it through the different ideas that we're creating on the session. Again, be careful with these kind of questions, like elaborate. When I feel that the worst thing that you can do when someone is saying something that you don't want, an attitude that you don't want in a session, ask them to elaborate, because then you're going to start a debate that you don't want. So be careful with that. I mean, at least from my point of view, try to flip the angle instead of like reinforcing the debate, because what you're doing there with that question is reinforcing the debate that you don't want right now. It's good for another moment, but not right now. Okay,
so we have a question in the chat here, Ale.
Oh yeah, sorry, I didn't see it.
It's a hard word for me to pronounce as well. Is this hypothetical? You know what I mean? Hypothetical?
Yeah.
Is
hypothetical,
that right?
Yeah.
Hypothetical dynamic with a client.
It could be from a client, and it could be from even your own team, right? I'm just saying, I'm trying to put here very typical questions and sentences people do that are not welcome or shouldn't be welcome in a brainstorming session, and try to flip it so we can manage a bit the energy better. That was my intention, Lucia. Hope it makes sense. Cool, perfect. So for me, the most important part there are 2 parts of the brainstorming sessions, right? First, understanding that you cannot control people. You can just like control the narrative and see if people encourage people to follow you to that narrative. And the second part is that the exercises lead people into that mindset too. So brainstorming sessions actually need a lot of planning. I actually spend a lot of time, probably sometimes, planning the session and organizing the exercises. Take me more time than even facilitating the exercise sometimes. So try to design small games and tricks that help people going and avoiding the blank page. One of the most important things here in the brainstorming part is that you don't have people thinking of the blank page syndrome, right? We all know the syndrome. Like if I tell you, hey, tell me a story, then you're gonna be like, that's everyone's reaction. But if I tell you, tell me a story about your childhood, then you can maybe start saying, well, I had a dog, or I grew up in this place, or and even if you're telling me the story and I keep on asking you prompts like, oh, what was your favorite dress, or what you used to drink in the summer, or what was your whatever it is, then you're gonna keep on flowing and keep on going. That's our role as facilitators, designing an exercise that give them an input, a first input, so they don't face the blank page, and then keep on giving them things that stimulate them. I'm going to show you 3 ways of doing it that I use. I designed a very small and short exercise for you. I'm going to show you first. You see that there's method 1, method 2, method 3, and in the middle there's something that is called brief. The brief is super simple. I just wanted something fun to just like play with, okay? But the brief, it will be, if everyone is with me, you can see my screen, or you can follow me on Miro. The brief is a company that makes food for pets, mainly dogs, wants to create a new digital service for owners. Okay, so they just want to find like a new business thing, and they're just like looking for new ways of creating services for pet owners. Yeah, I know it's super brief. The brief is super brief, but it's just something to start off. Okay, so we can start creating. Okay, so if everyone follows me to the method number 1, I'm going to show you the first exercise I will design for this. The first exercise is about combinations. What do I mean with combinations? I like creating elements, so list of elements that could help people combine and mix things. For example, we can make a list of tech elements like virtual reality, reminders, augmented reality, cameras, location, DIY kits, wearables, whatever it is. And then also things related to maybe to the brief, like the color of the dog, the lash, the food, the plate, the medicines, the bed, the toys, the clothing, the bell, whatever it is. The bell is just like the classic bell the cats and the dogs have. Well, it's mostly for cats, right? Anyway, just forget my mistake there. Anyway, so you just create a lot of elements for your team, and then you can just ask them super simple here when it says ideas. I already created an example to pick one element of each of the columns of each of the type. In my case, for example, location and clothing, and then create an idea from it. For example, an apps that tell you the exact temperature where your dog is and what it should wear. As simple as that. You just try to get one of the list of the tech elements and one of the pet related items and create an idea. If I place it, just deposit here with your idea here, then everyone will have the syndrome of like, I don't know. But by letting them choose something that they can kickstart, then they can create ideas a bit more freely. You want to try? Just like for a minute, pick one of each, and then see if you can create any fun ideas. Remember, this is the first time in your life probably, but I'm the client right now. There's no budget. You can create freely, so you can do the most expensive thing if you want, or whatever it is. There's go nuts if you want. Let's use a minute for that. I will encourage again everyone to, you see, I'm encouraging. I will encourage everyone to use the Miro and follow the exercises. It's much more fun, believe me, to participate than just listen to me. So yeah, try out and see what you can come up with. Just a quick one with 2 elements, and see what happens. And I'll show the next example later. Perfect. Thank you very much for participating, actually. And that's great. I see some really good, starting points and some really good ideas already. So and that was quick. That was just like what you want. Something quick, something like giving people something to think. They could even go back and pick several ones and start mixing that up. You can even divide them into different groups and different breakout rooms. Cool. So if you have any comments or whatever, you can always use the chat or interrupt me. Okay. Good. That was one part. Very easy. You can do it and prepare it just beforehand. You don't need to use also tech and pet related things all the time. You can use needs. You can use context. You can use items. You can use whatever you need. Insights. You can use whatever you want. Another way of using it it could be with prompts. Of course, prompts is the way that we got well known at the beginning. So in our case, what we do is to prepare some ideas, some trigger cards, some triggers ideation cards here, so people can start. Oh, this looks so bad. So people can start ideating. So what I will do here is to encourage the team to explore here all the what if questions. Well, not all, they just like whatever what if question they want. Get the prompt and then make an idea with it, one or two, or how many they want. In this case, it was like, what if the idea helped people express the emotion? And then I'm thinking, oh, let's do a platform that is called Therapy Dog Online, a platform where people can connect with a random cute dog to share them up, for example. It's kind of like a psychiatrist, but yeah, with less qualifications. Yeah, so that's as simple as that. In my case, I love this of like making them hidden at the beginning. So as you can see, there's like all these dots, all these purple dots. So you can just I encourage people to delete them, pick one, delete them, and start ideating. Why do I do that? Because people, if not, tend to go nuts on all the different prompts and go on all the same at the same time, so they don't focus. I love the surprise factor, and I love the feeling of the gaming, the game. Kind of like, oh, what is the next one? I'm gonna fill it this one with some ideas, and then where is the next one? So yeah, I encourage you to explore freely some of the dots. I'll give you a minute also, unveil the one that you want, put some ideas around it, and if you want, you can go around also some that are unveiled already. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes for that. Let's see if you like the cards. Go for it. Good. Thank you again. Really good. You like the prompts? Were they good? In this case, we were just using the prompts from Trigger Plus, so our digital version. I just love using some screenshots, placing it there, and playing around. I just normally select them beforehand, so I use the right ones that I know is gonna help my team. But you can also use them very randomly as you wish. But in this case, you see another way is just using prompts that you already design and help your team going. And the last part that I'm going to be showing today is the method number 3, that is about variations. I don't know about you, but something that happens a lot with me, with the teams, is that they get one idea and they get so stuck by it. It's just like, you're like, oh, come on, can you not think about, don't you understand that you have to think about idea number 1, 2, 3, 4, not just like one, number 1. So I need to open their heads artificially by actually leading them into making variations of maybe an idea that they already like. One way of doing it is by this one. So you can create a tunnel like this one that you force your team to, or let's say encourage, better, let's use a more positive language. You encourage your team to make variations of the idea. In this case, you need to put on a column your original idea. For example, this one, the one that I said already, the Therapy Dog Online, right? That was my example. And then you propose different variations, but remember, again, you need to give them some kind of like direction. In my case, I said, one is about make a variation that looks more futuristic, another one that gives it a stronger social side, or that simplifies it to the core, or thinks of monetization first. So then they should be doing things like this. So for example, if you're about to make it more futuristic, the idea that we started with, then it could be that an Apple Watch app that detects when you're feeling down and automatically send you calls with one of these dogs. I would love to receive a call from a dog when I'm feeling down. Or if you're a stronger social side, it's about maybe your friends can be involved and record, do a deep fake of them with a cute dog video sending you a tip. Or simplified to the core, it could be just like a notification with happy puppies, just like simplifying very, very much. Or monetization first is just a subscription for a therapist that is a dog, for example. So these are just ways, again, of sending people to different directions, right? Let's try to see if we can make an example with this one. For example, Sandy, you have any preference of any idea that you wanna pick and put there as the original idea?
It was so many nice ideas, but I really like this one. It's elderlies. Can I steal this one?
Yeah, please.
Let me see. I put it in here. I don't know who put this, but it says elderly who's lonely could have a way of connecting with pets where they could socialize.
Okay, perfect. So it's about connecting old people with pets so they can socialize, right? Let's try to make some variations of this idea. Again, 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes. Pick whatever column you want and try to come up with variations following the advice that I give there. Yeah, exactly. Please, robot dogs, of course. It had to happen. Okay, you had to start from here, from this idea, and think about ways of making it different with all this variation. Try for a minute, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Yeah, so this is already 3 ways you can design the sessions. Hopefully it looks a bit fun. It looks something that you want to work on. It looks like you want to participate on this. I mean, you all didn't have to, and then you did, even with that. So it's about making it welcoming, making it engaging, making it fun, making it look, I don't know, something also appealing. Try to use design in a way that invites people in. So with that said, you have any questions, by the way, about all these 3 different methods, all these different things? Anything you want to say?
I just have one, because a lot of
Yeah.
the times when I have ideation is that it's very different the level people are at with the idea. That someone comes into an ideation, it's fully fledged, they've been thinking about this forever, and you have to let them take a step back. And there are others that are very different. So do you have any experience with that, and what do you do when someone is just like, they have one idea, and then they're done, and then
Yeah, it's that's very typical. I will say that you can try to avoid it by different ways. At the beginning, you can maybe make a goal. I always say that a session, or let's say a phase of the session, like a brainstorming, and there are 2 ways of thinking on how long should it take, when to finish. It could be about the goal, so the amount of things, so kind of goal, or time. So at the beginning of the brainstorming, you could say, hey, we're going to spend, let's say, for example, 20 minutes looking at as many ideas as we can. And this is the goal. Please remember, as many ideas as we can is 20 minutes. Or you can say, hey, we need to create 20 ideas. And when we create 20 ideas, then we'll move on to the next phase. So that's already kind of like, again, encouraging and understanding, making people understand your expectations about it. The other way is to try to make these variations as I did, or at the end of the day, just telling that person, cool, please note down that idea somewhere, and then explores. Let's keep for 15 minutes exploring, and then we'll come back to that one. Those could be my tips, actually. When to finish, definitely, I will suggest you to either put a time limit or put a goal that you want to for the session. Remember that. Yeah, definitely, Oriana, you can definitely do that. I will say that's more on the filtering part, right? So try not to mix the diverging part with the converging part, because then people are going to start going into that mode of thinking if an idea is good or bad. But definitely is a tool, the matrix, the originality matrix, that you can use for filtering later on. Cool. So in my case, great idea. How much ideas we can harvest in 60 minutes? Oh, wow, a lot. And actually, if you start doing things like this, these kind of exercises, the biggest problem is when your ideation session is opening a Zoom meeting and say, start giving ideas. That's when you're not going to achieve so much in 60 minutes. But if you design things like this, and I will always suggest fast pace. For developing new ideas, always make it fast. Give them 5 minutes, give them 10 minutes. And another tip that I do, I hope you don't participate in one of my workshops then, because you're gonna know the trick. But I always say, for example, I give you 10 minutes, but actually I give them 15 or 20. But they are so into it because they know how they have to rush that they don't even control the time. But I'm giving them 20. But I tell them 10 because I know they're gonna be on it. If you, I don't know, there's this set of saying something like, if you want something done, give it to someone busy. So it's the same. So if you have a lot of time, people are gonna procrastinate. Time limit, so you don't, of course, don't stress them out, but you keep them active. Cool. So I will go into the checkout. I just wanna summarize everything that I've been saying in these 4 points. First of all, make sure you control your narrative. Don't get into fights with the people and trying to control them. You cannot control people. Control your narrative. Positive behaviors only. Don't go into correcting someone. Just reinforce and encourage positive behaviors. Have very well thought which are the behaviors that you want in your session and lead people through that. Design exercises that avoid the blank page for participants, and also make it challenging, make it like gamifying somehow, like what I did about the unveiling things, like picking up stuff, make it exciting, make it like, oh, I want to see if I mix this and that, what is going to happen. I want to see what happens with the next card. If you can take something out of this session, hopefully it's one of these points or the 4 points, or even some of them. So I want to ask you with that 2 questions. How do you feel right now? What did you learn? And for that, we're just going to be using our last Miro board that is there. Cecile, I see you were already on the Liliana, you were already there too. So yeah, please tell us, try to reflect a bit on how you feel right now after this short session. And yeah, what is your takeaway? What is it that you are getting? And some feedback if you had for us to make sessions better. I'll leave you to that. Okay, thanks everyone for the great feedback. I love that you're feeling that way, that you feel inspired. Also, plan is definitely one of the biggest for me differences between facilitating online and facilitating real life, or well, not call it real life. Everything is real life now, but face to face, because you need to plan much more when it comes to the remote ones. I cannot do these exercises in a spontaneous way. I need to have a backup. I need to have some exercises there and there. Normally, I even have these ones because they are very limited and very short, so I know what I'm gonna do. But normally, I have more exercise plan than the ones that I'm gonna be doing, because I need some flexibility in case some things happen. So I plan a lot. I definitely encourage to think about many different contexts and then plan for them. And yeah, so I open the room now for any comments that you have, any questions. I'll stop and yep, please do.
I see that somebody said on feedback, perhaps there are templates you guys have created. Who do you want to reveal yourself?
Reveal yourself.
Yeah, that was me. I just thought, I mean, I don't know. I've bought the Triggers book, and I've kind of been following you guys around a little bit, just kind of curious. But I feel like that would be something, at least, I feel like a lot of people would get into, because it's great to have to take the time to plan. But we all wear different hats, and there's so many different types of facilitators, and some of them aren't really great at design. And some of us are just lazy. So templates are awesome.
That's amazing. Actually, if you want, you can write your email in the chat and I will contact you, because we're actually creating stuff, and maybe you would like to be one of the testers, or if anyone else here also wants to be that.
I want to be a tester, definitely.
Okay, great. You can actually write your email in the chat and I will make sure to note it down.
By the way, I see that you, Lisa, joined us again. I hope you're feeling better today. You were mate, right? Last time it was, I still remember that I asked you and I was like, oh my gosh, sorry for asking in the context. Cool. By the way, Natalie, I don't know if you wanted to say something about Miro also, or just, or you already said everything?
Yeah, I basically said everything that I wanted to say, but as I mentioned before, if you guys want to learn more about the community, all of our chapters and events are posted on our event page, events.miro.com. Super simple to remember. And if you're interested in learning more about the community or how you can get involved, feel free to message me. I'll just share my email in the chat if you want to connect that way. You can also find me on LinkedIn. My name is Natalie Larino. And yeah, oh, sorry, not Gmail. It's Miro. Let me put in the right email. Okay. Second one is correct. But yeah, thank you all for joining us today.
Cool. Thank you, Natalie. Cool. Any other reflection? Sorry, Sandy,
I just
I'll leave it to
want
you.
to promote, we have some links next to the board where you can find our website and our products and services. And if you found this session nice and you're into facilitation and want to do similar sessions, create your own style, we have some trainings, short ones and long ones, coming up in July, and the longer program is coming up in August. We have very small teams because we want to make it intimate and personal and give you the best help. So please feel free to check them out or reach out to me or Ale if you want to join.